Welcome to another edition of America's favorite podcast, the Brico Power Hour, starring your host with the most, Brett Enrico.
I don't know that we can make that claim.
It is the best in America. Come on. Today we will be talking about millennials and how they totally fucked up and ruined everything. They ruined all the things.
Ooh!
Ah!
That was a freak out. So I think before we dive into this topic, I think we need to define what a millennial is, and by extension, is not. So keep in mind that defining generations is not an exact science. You may or may not fall within these categories, or you may or may not fall within the categories. It's not real. It's not real. But let's go over some basic characteristics on a broad scope for what covers a millennial. They are born between 1980 and the year 2000, and they are typically children of baby boomers and early Gen Xers.
Hmm.
So, would you like to read some things, Brett?
And they're sometimes referred to as Generation Y, the Me Generation, or Echo Boomers. I've never heard of
Wow.
Echo Boomers.
Well, yeah, because we like echo the baby boomers.
Ah. They are the largest generation in Western history, surpassing that of the baby boomers. And I think that kind of, goes to the fact of baby boomers. If they didn't have the baby boom, we wouldn't be the largest group.
Right. I mean, it makes the most sense. They're the largest group, and then they had us.
Yep. And we are the most educated generation in Western history.
Crazy. And overall, we tend to be very tech savvy and multitaskers because we kind of grew up with technology and it was shoved in our face since we were like basically born. In fact, I honestly can't even remember a time where we didn't have computers.
I can see. I'm only like a tiny bit older than you, but we did have Nintendo. We had like game systems, but we didn't have a computer until
Well, I mean,
much
like
later.
not me personally, but I can't remember a time in which computers weren't like an integral part of the classroom.
Yeah, that's true. They were in our schools. We did have a
Um,
computer, so.
so I mean, computers always been there.
Also, speaking on the most educated, we were pushed a lot to go to college. Like, there's a huge push to go to college. Like, that was the thing. Gotta go to college to get a good job. So,
Yes. Yeah, we were super pushed into that, and we'll touch more on that
yes. Yeah, we will.
in a bit. But overall, we tend to be very civic oriented. We value everybody else over the individual. We like to be politically engaged, and we're convinced that government can be a powerful cause for good. Might be a little more jaded about that than others, but I think overall we tend to believe this.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I felt like there's way more resistance against the government during our parents' times. So,
Uh, yeah,
I mean, we still
I
have it
think now
today, but
we're like,
but
yeah, I mean, we have a lot of it today,
we have a lot
but
of it today only because of because of this current situation. But
well, I think that like only reinforces it. Like we think that be used for good, and we don't kind of like what's going on. So
right,
I don't think we tend to be as jaded about things as our parents. Like we tend to be a little more optimistic, d- despite everything we've been through.
yeah, we do have a little bit more optimism.
It's like no matter how many times we get kicked while we're down, we're still like, this is fine. We're okay. We can get through this.
Yeah, we
And like,
we have a lot
I
more
don't know.
hope for some reason. I don't know. Um,
Dude, I don't know why.
where?
Like, go ahead. You go.
No, you go. I'm sorry.
We tend to be very conscious capitalists.
That's what I was gonna
Um,
say too.
we're very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, there's a lot of startups. Like I think even the word startup, the coined term, came from us pretty much. And
I
the
mean,
typical look of a startup too.
I think like we started like redefining entrepreneurial shit too. We have like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, all that other shit too.
Yeah, and before it was either you were born into money or like you had to take out a big loan and take out a big risk to start something. But I think with the internet, that made it a hell of a lot easier to start a company.
Well, not only that, but we're like literally creating our like own demand for our own industry.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, we are.
even like 10, 20 years ago, the internet wasn't the same as it is today. I mean, there weren't like there wasn't a need for like the nostalgia critic or the angry video game nerd or anything like that. Like so much as like 10 years ago. Now all of a sudden, there's so many fucking copycat sites, including us to a degree. We've like literally generated our own demand for a product that didn't exist.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like, I mean, even when the internet began, it was still like constricted to people who knew how to create a website and how to sell things on a website. But now it's like all these big companies like Amazon or like eBay or Etsy can allow you to open your own little store without much
Well,
overhead at all.
on top of that, any idiot can just get a website now. It's not
Yes.
hard. You don't have to
Yeah.
know like HTML or anything like that.
Right. Anyone can build a website. They may be slightly depressed.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. uh,
I'm sorry, Brett.
it's okay. My job will be automated within like probably 20 years or something. um, we're also global citizens, so we tend to be liberal and idealist, but we're always practical and result oriented. Um,
Yeah, I agree with that. We we're kind of like risk takers. We're not. We always have to have like an exit strategy or a backup plan in case something doesn't work out. It's not just like, well, let's jump into this and hope it works.
mhm.
We're like, let's jump into this and hope it works. But in the meantime, I'm still going to keep working my damn job.
Yep. Like we're doing.
I'm not getting. Yeah, exactly.
Like we're doing right now. We have 9 to 5 jobs, and yet we still do this.
Right, because we're not going to get like sucked into it. Because like, what if this doesn't work? Then it's like, well,
I
there
still
goes
have my
a
job.
house.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't just quit our job right now. So, yeah.
I mean, I'd love to. I'd love to just quit my job and be like, let's do this full time. But like, for as idealistic as we tend to be, we're not stupid.
Yeah, we are not idiots. We realize we're not making
We can be,
we're making
yeah,
$0 in this right now.
we can be as idealistic as we want. That doesn't mean we're stupid.
Yes. Oh yes.
And I think too, because we're like constantly like multitasking and we have like so much shit constantly like in our face, we tend to be really impatient when things don't go our way or when we can't get the information that we want immediately.
Hence why we have um, little computers in our pockets, and videos on YouTube are only 15 minutes long because that's the ideal amount of time.
Right. Well, I mean, like even in like general like day to day stuff, God forbid I get stuck in traffic, I turn into a rage machine.
And I mean,
Fuck, I work for the damn government. Like, do you know how slow and impatient everything is? Like,
oh yes,
I'm a nutcase all the time because like I have schedules for things and other people do not adhere to those schedules, and it drives me crazy.
oh yes, oh yes. It's yeah, that's to a fault. I think it's kind of a bad thing too that we're so impatient. To me, at least.
Uh, can be, but yeah, it can and it can't be. Like in certain scenarios, it's I think being impatient.
It's like I don't know like I just remember a Louis C.K. joke where he was like on a plane and it was like one of the first planes to get Wi-Fi and a guy complained that it was down that the Wi-Fi wasn't working like are you kidding me like they just got this can you give it some time like can you calm the fuck down it has to go to space and come back down like look around you what you're in right now you're in a giant metal tube flying thousands of feet in the air and you're worried about the Wi-Fi. Like we're flying right now. Things that
I think
people hundreds of years ago didn't think was possible.
I always like when we like lose power or something like that, and then like the internet goes down or anything like that. Because then we just kind of sit here and we're like, "Fuck, well, now what do we do?" I mean, like my entire livelihood is dependent on electricity
Electricity.
and Wi-Fi. If it
Uh,
goes down, we just kind of sit there like, well, now
well,
what do we do? Guess we could go for a walk or something. But yeah.
see, like it. I guess we'll get into this in a bit, but it doesn't bother me that much.
No, I mean overall, it doesn't bother me that much either. You know, I always find something to do.
Like, well, I guess I'll light a candle and read a book, like a fucking old times. Uh,
I don't know that I could do that. I go for a walk. Lots and lots and lots of walks until I'm
uh,
too tired to fucking care, and then I go to bed.
well, power's still not on. Time to sleep then, I guess. Can't fucking do it. Uh,
Uh, so back to this whole thing. So you know, a lot of times we hear that millennials are self-obsessed, you know, tech-obsessed, rude, narcissistic, lazy. My favorite is that we expect everything to be handed to us.
oh God.
There's that whole deal where we grew up with participation trophies and we were told that we were special and could do anything we wanted
Bullshit.
because our parents sheltered the fuck out of us for some reason. And I guess to some degree these things are kind of true.
Sort of. Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
we are a little bit of all these things. I don't agree with the participation trophy though. I mean, I never really got that. I mean, I played hockey since I was like 5 years old up until I was like 26, 27, and never really got a participation trophy. But I feel like kids are smart enough to know that they lost in something.
I mean, my parents like throw us in bowling constantly, and you know, one of the deals was everybody gets a trophy. Um, so you know, we all got literal participation trophies for participating in the ordeal. But there were like first, second, third prizes, and they were like way bigger fucking trophies, and like
Yeah, you still realize like, yeah, I didn't win.
yeah. You think I was ever satisfied with the participation trophy? You,
No.
you think those are like displayed somewhere?
Yeah, I actually, oh man, I feel embarrassed saying this, but I was a disrespectful asshole at one point where uh like I was playing I did play roller hockey for a bit. I played ice most of the time, but I did for a little bit play roller hockey. I know people are like, roller hockey's stupid, but anyways, there was one time in a tournament where we got like second or third place or something, and they gave us like participation T-shirts, and our team was total assholes, and we ripped up the T-shirts because we felt like it was, I don't know, spitting on our face at the time. Like, oh, great job, here's this. Like, I'd rather have gotten nothing. Like, I don't know. It was just it was very douchey of us to rip up the shirts.
Yeah. It's also important to note that the baby boomers are very quick to complain that we were given participation trophies and told that we were special, but
You're the
they're
ones
who
giving
gave
us
it
that.
to us.
You're the ones that are giving
Um,
us the trophy.
I never once asked for a participation trophy.
No, none of the kids are asked. It's the parents that are like, oh, my kid's crying. They should get something. What the hell? Like, it's the parents who think that their kid is super special, and that's the problem. And yes, I love my kid, and I think he's special to me, but I don't think like they should get everything that's coming to them. Like
And like,
I'm gonna teach my kid. You have to earn what you want to, what you're trying to get. You have to earn it. You have to work for it.
yeah, I mean, I guess in general, I have no problem with like trophies. It's just like I like really I get the point of them because it's like, well, you kind of sucked, but it's a
At
game
least you
and like you
tried.
tried
I
something for
get it.
effort.
I get it, but
Like,
it's up to the parent. It's up to the parents to, you know, have a kid realize, teach a kid, hey, you're not going to be. It's not going to be like this in the real world.
you sucked. That actually I don't remember that. That was actually when I got a little bit older. Just like when I was in elementary school, I remember very distinctly um, gymnastic award. And it was like a big deal when kids got this thing because they like put in like all this effort and they like did a good job and this and that and blah blah blah. And I never got one ever because I just was not as like physically able to do things as other kids. I had really bad allergies and asthma growing up, so like this slightest bit of like physical activity would cause me to like wheeze and like nearly die. Tried my hardest every year to get that thing, and I never once fucking got it. I'll tell you what, it did make me feel like shit every time.
It's understandable.
So in like one of those scenarios, it would have been nice to have gotten like some. Of course, now I'm like an adult, and I'd be like, oh, it's fucking stupid. Kid, it would have been nice to have at least like had some sort of acknowledgement for like, hey, I know you're a shitty kid and like you can't do all these things, but like, good job trying.
Right, right.
I
I
never
mean,
got, I never got that thing.
yeah. I mean, and my dad was like, um, he was well not critical, but he was like, you know what, you didn't do a great job, but here's how you can do better. He'd be pretty blunt with us after like a hockey game, and if we lost or something, like, you know what, you weren't skating hard enough, or you weren't doing this right, but here's how you can do better, or hey, we'll work on that. So I think that's what you
And
got to
bowling.
do.
That was always my dad in bowling.
Yeah, you got to be real with your kid, but also you got to be supportive as well. You can't just, I
I
mean,
don't bowl anymore.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying you can't just be like, well, you sucked ass, you suck ball, like you're terrible, and then just nothing.
And my dad
You
never
got
was like, you're a piece of shit. It was always just like, I was always frustrated because I was never doing anything right, and like no matter what I tried, it just never worked. And I'm like impatient as shit. I want it to work right the first time, or fuck it. Although I will say I'm a lot more patient with other things now.
right. It's just you gotta nurture it. I guess you gotta teach them. So
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean, half the games we play are competitive games, and your ass handed to you until you kind of figure shit out.
oh yeah,
I
definitely.
get less frustrated with that sort of thing. So I'm gonna, except for arms. Fuck arms.
It's okay. I play a game called it's called Red Tide Vietnam. It's a shooter game, and it's like a realistic shooter with like bullet drop, and you die from like one or two shots too. You don't have really health, so it's like I I played where like I'll spawn dead, spawn dead, spawn dead. I'm like, fuck this, fucking hell. So
Like,
yeah,
you get to play the game.
like please, no, I know I have. It was just one session where I was sucking ass. So and it happens. But anyways, so
Oh,
most
I want to touch upon the wait. I want to touch upon the rude thing before we move on.
okay.
Because you know this story, but our listeners do not. So every generation defines respect differently. We tend to define things more laissez-faire compared to our baby boomers and the silent generation, which would be our grandparents, or at least my grandparents. I don't know how fucking old you are, um, as in the listener, not Brett.
Oh, I was gonna say like
Um,
you know how old I
I
am.
know how fucking old you are. Not you, our
I'm
listener.
16.
Oh, times two,
Haha.
minus two.
Minus two times two minus two. Yes.
Um, so I've
We're
gotten
great at math. Sorry.
I are good at math. So at my job, well, more than one occasion, for not saying hi to somebody passing in the hallway. That's not to say that I don't acknowledge them. I do like a smod. That's a smile and nod combined. I do a smod at them.
Smod.
Friendly smod. But yeah, some of them have like gone to my boss and said that I'm rude and like unapproachable and mean. And I think at some point my boss was just like, he's not fucking mean. He's just an introvert. Leave him the fuck alone. For a while there, like when I started, I was getting it a lot. And even to this day, I get like, but I still get like weird snide remarks from people who are like, boy, you sure are quiet and don't talk a lot. Because I don't fucking want to talk to you people. Leave me alone. I'm not here to socialize with you.
It's work.
But it's always older people. And I think I have a pretty good inclination of who the fuck has been like telling my boss this sort of shit. Pretty good inclination. It's stupid shit.
Yeah, like when I go into work, like I don't know. For me, it's like hit or miss actually. Like sometimes I'll be like, hey, good morning, morning, what's up? And sometimes I don't, and sometimes I won't say anything, and someone will say something to me. So it's like it's not a big deal if I don't say anything. I'll say hi to them when I can, basically, because it's
Yeah.
eventually I know I'm gonna talk to almost everyone around me during the day. So
Right, and like I try to, if I see somebody in the hall, depending on who it is, I might just like smile and nod, depending on how fast we're moving, or I might say good morning. But there are times where I don't get anything returned to me. People will just like flat out fucking ignore me, and it's
yeah,
like for them to do that sort of shit. But if I do it, they got to run to my fucking boss like they got nothing better to do, and complain about me.
yeah, I don't really have that problem. Maybe because I work in a more modern office space than you do. So
Could be that I there are. I can confirm that I work with at least 5 generations.
I do too actually, but they're all like aware. They're all aware of like younger people
Well, yeah, I
and
mean, you work in like a single idea sort of industry. Everyone there kind of has like the same sort of mindset.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of yeah, well, yeah, a lot of people. That's why everyone gets along. I mean, that's part of the thing is the culture. Like that's part of your
Right.
interview is like one of the big things is to gauge how that person will fit in to your group. Like it does matter their skill set, but also the big thing is are they going to go along with everyone else?
There's a big thing about workplaces.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I feel like I fit in. It's just and it's like symptomatic of like a lot of the other people like our age too. we'll pass each other in the hall and like not say anything, just kind of smile and like nobody complains about that. No one's upset because we understand. It's
Yeah.
the older people that are like, well, fucking Rico was mean and rude.
Yeah, like I mean one of our programmers, he's like 50 something. But he gets it. I mean, he understands us, and he'll of course he'll joke. He'll joke about, what are you young kids like? He'll joke about it's about programming though. Usually, geez, you young kids, like. But he gets it. He understands. He can relate to us and whatnot. And we have some other older people who are like kind of taking like younger people under their wing. Like our QA guy is much older than our like one of our other QAers, and he actually he's like he'll bring up like a movie, like you haven't seen this, like yeah I've never heard of that movie. What are you talking about? Like jeez man, like he made a whole list for him of movies to watch, like and he put like a big sticky note on his desk. He's like you need to cross off these as you watch them and let me know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Because
I think this
he
was
was
like kind
really.
of like a rampant.
I'm just saying he was really interested to see what he thought of those movies after he watched them. So
That's cool. I don't have anything like that, and I think that this sort of problem became large enough that we had to actually take a multi generations in the workplace training that they had to make up.
oh jeez.
We have not had to take it since because the backlash from our generation was rather large. It turned into like trying to like get to know each generation and like how we were defined, kind of like what we're doing right now. But it also turned into um, why baby boomers are awesome and why millennials are pieces of shit. Quick turned into that, and it was not low key either. Um,
Jeez. What
and
the fuck?
at the time, the person, one of the interns that like was in my like cube area with me, she was pissed. She's like, "This is a bullshit right here." Much is, and she like went to my boss and complained to why millennials suck, and this is bullshit. She's like, "I don't feel like going to these trainings and being attacked,"
That is
and they've not
bullshit.
had this sort of thing ever since.
That is bullshit.
It is, yeah, it is bullshit because you kind of like start off on like common ground, and it turned into baby boomers complaining about millennials being pieces of shit. And I'm like, yeah, this is not how you fix this problem. This is what's the word? Well, the opposite of what to be doing right now. The opposite.
I think the thing is that it's like I just said. Like I think the older generation. I'm sorry, but you need to just embrace the change. Like they don't like change. You gotta embrace some of the change that's happening, but also realize that millennials are actually interested in the things that you know too. That we are actually interested in the things that you grew up with. But also,
Yeah, like
it's give and take too. So I mean, you should also try and embrace what we're into too. And like,
yeah.
I'll bring up
We
an
look up. We
huh?
look up to our parents. We look up to our parents and like boomers in general for like guidance.
Yeah, and we're interested in learning from them, but also they should be interested in learning from us. And that's the thing. Like they don't seem to give a shit about what we're doing.
No, they do not.
Well, the shitty ones, I'm saying. The shitty ones.
Yeah.
Um, but like a good example, I read an interview with Terry Crews, who is now pretty goddamn famous on the internet now, and he embraces all of that. He like fucking loves it. He was just like an ex football player, and he just got signed some deals, doing like goofy shit with Old Spice and whatnot, and saw what the internet did with it, and he fucking loved it. And like there's another thing, like with his kid. His kid was like into computers and video games. He's like, you know what? I have to get into this. I want to get into this. So he built his own computer with his kid, and he was getting info from the internet. Like he was live streaming, like how do I do this? And like people are telling them how to build a computer through live stream on Facebook. So like that's what you should try to do. You should you take an interest. Take an interest in what your kids are doing or what the younger generation is doing. Cuz then we'll see that you want to accept us and we'll accept you, and then we'll we learn from each other. That's how you pass on your knowledge to us, and we'll pass on our knowledge to you. But that's how you keep whatever you believe in, I guess, going.
I think it might be a little easier for our generation going forward to deal with the younger generations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like
I guess just because of how we were raised and how technologies we've been there from the beginning in technologies like movement advancement. It's always we understand how kids are. We'll go to family functions and the kids will all be sitting there like dicking around on their iPhones and stuff like that or their iPads. And the older generation's like, these kids these days. And I'm always like, I just had an electronic thing in my face too. Like, just let it be kids. Enjoy themselves. Why you gotta be so fucking old and fuddy-duddy?
Yeah, or sometimes you can try to get them interested in doing something else. And you can do that. I mean, my dad has done that successfully. I went to a recent family reunion thing, and my dad is always we call him the mayor of Funtown, and you'd be like, get the hell off, get off your ass, come on, let's go do this. I'm like, all right, So, I mean, yeah, it's cool to let them do stuff, but if you want to get them, you gotta be just enthusiastic about it,
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're in a family, what the fuck else are they gonna do? Let them play around on their iPad.
Right, but if you're
what else are they gonna do?
Right, but if you let's play catch or something else or play baseball or something.
Well, that's the thing. No one else has a solution for them. They're just kids being kids, and then these kids these days. I'm like, oh, what else would you like them to do?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. What are you doing then? You're just sitting there watching them do that, watching something else.
It's not like you're doing anything better. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Well, so are they in their own way.
Yeah. So
Team together.
Don't complain when they're doing something when you're not trying to get them to do something, or you're not trying to get involved. Right. You're just observing and then criticizing them.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even trying. It's just these fucking kids these days always got to have their devices. What are we doing?
Well, get involved. If they're fucking around on Snapchat and they're playing with the filters, hey, how about you Snapchat with me? Let's take a funny picture together with the Snapchat filter.
Yeah, or
have an interest. Have an interest in what they're doing. That's what you have to do.
What game are you playing? How does it work? What are you doing? I'm genuinely interested.
Yeah. Because
I went to my over the weekend, and my other cousins were there, and they're 8 and 10, and they were kind of just dicking around watching TV. I brought my Switch, so I let them play with my Switch, and I was watching TV with them.
Yeah, but
you're watching the cartoons, and I'm like, yeah, I love Clarence.
Yeah, I'm interacting with my freaking my relatives. I'm interacting with them. I'm still an adult, but I'm still interacting with them. I'm relating to them.
Yeah, I can watch fucking cartoons and have an adult conversation if I want to.
At the same time, yes.
They're not mutually exclusive. I can do two separate things.
Yes. That's that's
God.
the other. Sorry, I know we're getting off track, but it's the point. That's the point. That's part of the point. It's part of the point what we were talking about.
It is part of the point. God, we go off on such tangents with this because it's so frustrating.
But I know we're still talking about millennials and the issue.
So to be back on track, let's further this. So us millennials, we came of age during the Great Recession and the housing market crash. Not familiar with that. That's about 2007 to 2009.
Mm-hmm.
People were either graduating high school, like you and I, or graduating college. So we were kind of like graduating into economic uncertainty. Recession was like the largest recession in U.S. history, and it was like almost akin to the fucking depression.
Yeah. Luckily, I got a house right at the end of it, and now my house is worth like 2 times what it's worth. Maybe 2.5 times now, basically.
And a lot of us didn't have the opportunity to pursue college education. You and I were lucky enough to have been able to do that.
Yes.
But those of us that did, we didn't have like an easy time after graduating.
No, we did not. Like,
It
I
didn't matter like what we went into.
yeah, I was in technology, and that was like I had a lot of opportunities. Like, but I still live with my parents, but it was still every job was like, yeah, have a fucking bachelor's plus like 3 4 years. Like, how is that possible for entry level? How is that possible for me to get a goddamn
Well,
job? I don't have
that's what,
experience.
right,
I'm out of college.
right, and that's what happened after the crash too. There were so many people that had to be like laid off at every industry that when they hired people back or started to hire people back, they wanted.
Highly
So they're
experienced
like,
people.
yeah, they want. I mean, dude, even now, like admin jobs, like basic entry level admin jobs require like a bachelor's degree and 5 years experience. Like, I don't even have 5 years experience yet in terms of industry that I'm in. And that's, I feel like I've had at least 10 years worth of experience. I mean,
Yeah,
on paper, it doesn't look like I have necessary experience.
it's freaking ridiculous, and you're lucky to even find anything that requires no experience. And if
It's like
the,
almost nothing.
almost nothing, or you have to get an unpaid internship. And if you're super lucky, though, you get a paid internship.
Yeah, which is like real unlikely. And fucking internships are bougie ass bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
They're like hardly even legal. I don't know how anyone gets away with fucking unpaid internships for quote unquote exposure and experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit is what it is. And only rich people or like people who live with their parents can afford to take internships.
Yeah, and it's the other
I
thing.
was
Like,
able to
we're
take an unpaid internship because I still lived at home with my parents.
yeah, that's the other thing is that we get blamed for being lazy if we lived with our parents. Like, well, that's the economic climate.
Like, yeah,
Can't
I didn't destroy the fucking housing market,
no.
despite the fact that you will continually blame me for that. You
There
know,
were yeah, we couldn't afford to get a fucking house. Or you'd have to live with like 10 fucking people at a house with like 3 rooms. Like,
yeah, fuck that.
run a
I
place.
mean, well, I mean, and I feel like the running headline constantly is like millennials destroy blank, and the blanks include things like um, or like general. Diamonds we've destroyed the American dream, big box stores and malls, fucking vacations, napkins, fucking napkins.
What?
We are credited with, yeah, napkins. And
Napkins.
and the McWrap. I'm serious. Look that up. We are credited with destroying the fucking McWrap.
What?
If there was ever a petty fucking thing we've
McWrap
destroyed,
destroyed. I can't spell destroyed. I'm a little
I don't even know what the
buzz.
fuck a McWrap is. I had to.
It's a wrap.
It's just a McDonald's fucking wrap. How did we destroy that?
Bar soap. We ruined it. Vacation
Oh,
time ruined.
that's my favorite because nothing is better than reading an article about how we're lazy, entitled pieces of shit who don't want to work. Every article that says that we work too fucking hard and we don't take vacations, and we're guilting baby boomers when they do take their vacation time. I'm like, well, which fucking is it? It can't be both. I can't be lazy and hardworking at the same time. That doesn't fucking work. That's not how any of this works. I can't. I don't understand. How can I be all of these things at once?
Trees? How the fuck do we ruin trees?
I don't
Oh, because... Oh, because we like physical copies of books.
I mean, do, but I don't think that's our fault.
uh,
Shifting the blame on us. I mean, in the room, yeah, I'm probably partially to blame for that, but X and tell me it's okay.
wait, we ruined sex? How the fuck? Wait a minute. That's total bullshit. I think we bang more than ever.
I don't know if we like bang any more or less than any other previous generation.
I think we bang more because of cell phones and apps and being able to connect with people easier.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That is a fair point.
Uh,
The availability and ease to hook up and bang somebody are,
Very
from what
easy, it seems like.
yeah, not that I know because
Well, I
the apps
just
they didn't exist like so much as like 6 years ago.
yeah, but it seems like with like Tinder and shit. I mean, that's mostly the point of Tinder. So I think people are banging more.
Is Tinder the one I downloaded? Tinder might have been the one that I downloaded because my recently my recently single female friend, I cannot speak today. Um, she was like, "You should download Tinder and look at what the competition looks like for me, and why I'm not getting any hits." This is the only reason I had Tinder, and I'm like, "Wow, is this what you people do all day? Like this?"
Swipe to bang.
Well, swipe to hope to bang.
Swipe to
I
hope
don't
to
think
bang.
it's not that easy. It's
I mean, yeah, I get it, but
like,
still.
yeah, you swipe one way to accept, you swipe the other to not accept, and then like if they swipe the correct way on you or your picture, then it like lets you chat. I don't know. I didn't
Some
actually like.
something like that, I think.
I didn't dick around with it long enough to actually know.
Excuse me, sorry. I burped.
But yeah, to a degree, I don't know that we're like necessarily industries so much as we are redefining them.
Well, yeah, I mean, things we destroy we do destroy things, but we destroy things to make room for progress.
Yeah, well, I think progress is kind of a dangerous word because that in and of itself is not necessarily like easily defined because it's like, well, progress to me might be different to another person, but I will say that we are redefining like the values and worth of certain industries.
Um, yeah, I mean, like, I'm just taking a quote that I from that video that you sent me. The continuous emergence of new human beings teaches us both to forget that which is no longer useful and to covet that which is yet to be won. So we find
Yeah.
something that's like, well, is no longer needed. Get rid of it for something else. We're gonna do something else with this.
Well, yeah, and we're like, I don't know. I think because so many of us were like thrust into economic instability, we're kind of like skeptical of like putting our trust in things.
Yeah, so we create a lot.
I mean, yeah, we create a lot. Goes and everything involved in that. Um, you and I are the only people I know that really own a house. Every other friend that I have have a house.
You are right.
Not only that, but they
Yeah.
are vehemently against owning a house. They don't want to have a house. They see no value in owning a house because they think it's stupid. And despite what our parents tell us that it's an investment, um, I don't think that they buy into it. And I don't even necessarily buy into it. It's just that the house was a little cheaper than having an apartment. So that's why I chose to get one.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Like basically all the people I know. There's only maybe a couple that have houses, but
Yeah.
those are people at work. But my friends outside of work, yeah, you're the only one. You're the only one that
Like
has a
nobody's
house.
really, yeah, nobody's like really gunning to buy a house. Like, and if they do have a house, it's a house with like several other people.
Yeah, they're living with a bunch of other people, renting out a
Yeah.
house.
Well, I do know someone who has a house, but they also share it with like three or four other people and they pay monthly each. So it's kind of like they own it, but everyone else rents it while they live in it too.
Yeah, I mean
Kind of the same thing.
it's part of like it's the fact that the housing market has gone up, but still our salaries and pay have not gone with it.
They
It doesn't
certainly have not.
have not adjusted for inflation. They barely do.
Yeah, yeah, it's bullshit. As far as vacations go, sorry, baby boomers, I'm ruining your vacations. It's not that I don't want to take one. It's just that I can't because I
Yes.
don't have that thing called vacation time.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
See, I've
I
been
don't get
lucky.
it.
I've been lucky.
Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones.
Yes, I am. I do realize that
Um,
every day.
you're probably one of the few people I know that actually has vacation time and like time off. The rest
And
of us seem to be like sucked into this contract time.
yeah, that's why I'll never do contract work because even
I mean,
though
it's
I've
not like I
seen,
wanted to do it.
yeah, no, even though I've seen like people like make a shitload of money, but it's like that's only to compensate for the fact that they don't have benefits. Like, okay.
Shit ton of money if like I make average salary and it's average like salary that's supposed to include various other things. So I'm actually making less, I think, than what I should be. Making the same amount that I would be in my position, just I don't get all the added benefits.
Yeah,
So it's like yay, yay. But I mean, the rest of the stuff, like I think we're starting to realize that diamonds are, what's that word? Intrinsically worthless.
yes, they are. They're actually very common. If you don't know, they common diamonds are super common. It's just that one uh, I forgot what they're called, but not a company. Let's just say one person controls all of them and then just kind of trickles them out, basically.
Well, yeah, there's like a slow set of them, and there's that whole like
That's how they keep.
pretty close to being fucking slave labor to dig them up.
Yep. That's why they're worth a shitload of money because of just super low supply.
So I mean that comes into the whole globalization thing. Like we kind of realize it, and we understand like what's associated with like
What's
diamonds
a
and everything, and we're kind of like maybe we don't need one of these.
yeah?
Maybe we can do something different.
We realize the things that are affecting us around the world,
Yeah, like we're more globally aware, and like we have sort of like a compassionate view towards other people.
and that I think is attributed to the fact that we have the internet and we can communicate with other people around the world easier.
We can see them, we can communicate, we know what they're going through, like at the touch of our fingertips. So if we understand that like diamonds are associated with pretty close to fucking slave labor, and maybe we don't need to get the diamond.
Yeah.
Maybe it's okay that we don't have this. And then everyone goes, "Oh, but you're destroying the diamond market," and I'm like, I don't
Fuck it.
fucking care.
Fine. Fuck it. Cause fuck
Okay.
that. Fuck that one person that's holding on to all of them and making people dig them out for them at gunpoint.
You guys keep buying too many things on the internet. You're destroying big box stores.
Well, sorry, maybe they should adjust. It's just like with Blockbuster. Like, they didn't... Netflix killed them because Blockbuster didn't come up with anything for streaming videos.
Oh, no. Nope. You're wrong.
I'm
You're
wrong? I thought it was that.
But not before Netflix brought it to Blockbuster and said, hey,
oh, yeah.
We
they
have
offered
this
it.
idea. Would you like to be down for this?
And they
Blockbuster
said no.
was like, fuck you. That sounds stupid. And then Netflix, like, blew them out of the water. Then they were like, hey, Netflix, can we come back? And they were like, yeah, no, go suck your own cock.
Bye. I mean, you gotta adapt. That's the thing. Like, Best Buy is still around. I'm surprised it's still around. But they adapted because they're like, hey, we should sell our stuff online too.
Well, I mean...
Like, you gotta adjust. Gotta adapt.
The retail and the big box store going under in our first episode. But, now Sears is, like, officially going under.
Right.
And, like, Payless and the rest of them. And, like, if you go into any of those stores, not only are they a serious ghost town, but they look like a fucking time portal to the 1980s and early 90s because they've not changed anything. To bring it up to the modern age.
Yeah, you have to adapt or die, basically. Sorry, but...
So, I have nostalgic memories of going into fucking Payless and having, like, Airwalks and shit like that. Do I give a
Airwalks.
Shit whether yeah. I know, exactly. Do I give a shit whether Payless, like, stays afloat or not? No, I don't.
Is that your fault?
Flying fucks.
Is that your fault? No, it's not. It's not our fault.
My fault. I can get my shoes online.
Right.
Or I'll go to a store where they're, like, on sale or something.
Right.
Buy anything. I gotta get it on sale.
Yes, I mean, it's just like with a lot of other things, like a lot of other industries, like we're trying to, have renewable energy, yet people still think that coal is viable, and, adapt. Sorry, oil industries and coal industries, you gotta adapt. Change your shit. Change your shit to the renewable shit.
Start investing in fucking solar because that's what's gonna be it. Adjust and change.
Yeah. Provide training to your fucking workers. Like, oh, people are gonna lose jobs. Well, provide training. Train them how to install solar panels.
Into another industry. Help them the fuck out.
Yes, help your workers out. Stop being greedy fuckfaces. You have enough money. Stop acting like, oh, we're so poor, we can't afford that. Yes, you can. You don't need 5 million houses.
Like the 80th raise.
You don't need 20 boats. You don't need a bunch of private jets. You don't need any of that. Like, spend some fucking money on your people. Because they fucking deserve it.
Well, and then, I think this comes back to, we're destroying the American dream. And it's like...
No, we're not.
American dream was fucking bullshit from the beginning, and I'm not really destroying a goddamn thing. But let's say, for instance, that we are destroying the American dream. I think we're more or less just exposing the illusion that it was, and that it's not working for us. Because even when we do play the game and we adhere to what the American dream standards are, it doesn't help us.
No.
It doesn't move us forward. And, this is coming from two people who have pretty stable jobs, own houses, and, crap like that. Still don't feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm there, finger quotes. I don't feel like I'm at some sort of, like, level of, I don't know. The American dream just doesn't feel, like, real for me. It's like, I have, technically, American dream, and it just feels like a bullshit sham. Like, well, you've got a job, you've got a wife, you've got a house, You got 2 dogs. You live in the American dream. And I'm like, then why do I feel so empty all the time?
No, I'm just living life. I just have
I
things that I need or want.
feel like, regardless, I feel existentially empty. It's like, well, this is everything I was told I was supposed to have, and now that I have it, I not that great. I guess the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
I guess not.
Or my house, or the dogs, or being married, or any of that stuff. It's just like I don't know. I kind of always feel like this is it. That's it.
That's it. That's all
And
you're
we
gonna
die.
do.
And then we die.
No, you just live your life. That's all. You live your life how you want to live it, and
In a box.
in a box. No, you do how you want to do it. It's up to you. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you to make that quote unquote American dream. That's what it is. It's up to you how to do it.
It's a sham.
see, I'm more optimistic.
It's a trap.
I'm projecting some millennial stuff, and you're projecting more of the baby boomers right now.
Well, being that no, actually, that would probably be more like the Gen Xers,
Oh yeah. That's true.
cynical and like fuck everything.
Fuck
They're the kids who
Almonds.
MTV.
Ruined everything.
I feel like I relate. I feel like I relate, like between like the Gen Xers and like the millennials too. It's like, uh, some days I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I really get the Gen Xers, and other times I'm like, yeah, fuck the Gen Xers.
I think that has to do for me. It has to do in part with the fact that I had older brothers, so it's like I adapted from their because they're Gen Xers, and I adapted from them. So I had like the mix of millennial and Gen X. I think that's where we're
Yeah.
at.
Well, yeah. I mean, uh, depending on like what um, you use to define generations, to fall in a Gen Y category versus the millennial, which would be like, yeah, I don't know, like 92 or something to like 2000. Like we should technically be on like this like in between scale where we have like traits of both, and I think that's a fair assumption
Yeah.
to exhibit.
Well, that's all about the time we have, folks. If you like this topic, let us know in the comments below, and maybe we'll explore other generations in the future.
We could do that. We totally could do that.
Yes.
And while you're at it, commenting, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be sure to like this video.
And you can also follow us on Twitter and Twitch at the BorkCube and El Suavenero.
Sound like we're reading from a script at all.
No, robot. No, we're not. We're not. It's totally. What are you talking about? You're crazy, man. Crazy. Crazy.
Pay no
ass,
attention to the man behind the curtain.
crazy ass millennial.
Nobody.
Alright, see you later. Bye. Bye bye.